Hey, Griff Hamlin here. Today's video is about one of the most famous variations of the 12-bar blues. It's so famous, in fact, that people call it now the Stormy Monday changes. Stormy Monday was originally written by T-Bone Walker, I think in 1947. And it's a very unique set of changes. It is a 12-bar blues, and when I say changes, I mean the chord progression. It definitely steps outside of the traditional 12-bar blues in the sense that he uses chord substitutions throughout to make it more interesting. And you know, even T-Bone Walker has recorded more than one version of this. So the changes that I'm going to give you today they were probably made common or made the most popular by the Allman Brothers Fillmore East recording of the tune. But like when I play this tune, I don't do it exactly this way. And I'm going to give you some options, some other things that I do and that I've heard done, both by T-Bone, by the Allman Brothers, myself. A lot of our artists have covered this tune and in many cases changed it in some way, shape, or form. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about it. Now, I think the original recording of this is actually in A flat, but most people play it in G. I'm no exception. So I'm gonna show it in G. It starts out, it's a slow blues in G. So the one chord is G, commonly played with a G9 chord. Now the G9 chord is not usually strummed, but that's what it can be. It's oftentimes kind of that slide move. That slide move is done with a combination of the pick doing the fourth string and my middle finger doing the second string. And what I do is I pluck those two strings of the G9 chord and slide them up 2 frets and back. That basically turns it into G13 and back. The second bar is the 4 chord, the C9. So everything's normal 12-bar blues now. With that same slide, which is done again with the pick and the middle finger, but done on the 3rd and the 1st strings. So I have G9. It's not really possible to like play all the notes in a G9 chord if you base it off the 6th string. So that's why I'm playing a small version. You could play G7. That would be fine if you want to get the whole thing. Like if you're playing just you on an acoustic, for example, and you want the whole thing, you could even do this. I've heard it done this way, with that kind of, you know, slow blues shuffle thing. There's a lot of ways you can do this. So I'll just use my thumb to grab that for now. So there's a G9 for the first bar, C9, G9, and then usually that slides up to A flat 9 and then back. Okay, so we have, in bar 3, we have 2 beats of G, 2 beats of A flat, and then bar 4 is all G. So far I have G, C9, G9, A flat 9, and back to G9. And then I'm going to go up to the C9 for bar 5. Now so far, everything has been pretty much straightforward. This is where that all kind of goes out the window. Because I'm going to go to G7 for 2 beats, and this is in bar 7. Then A minor 7 for 2 beats. Then B minor 7, this is the start of bar 8. B flat minor 7 for the second half of bar 8. Okay? Now, a good question to ask yourself is, where the heck do all these chords come from? And in the key of G, the A minor and the B minor are, they're actually in the key. So what's happening is you're basically using what we call diatonically relevant chords. You know, they're in the same key. So in the key of G, A minor is a 2 and B minor is a 3. Those chords exist in this key, so we're just grabbing them. But what happens is, after we have, you know, we have the G7, the A minor, B minor 7, B flat minor 7, and that's kind of one of those ones where it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And there's, you know, a few different theoretical explanations I could throw out at this point, none of which really matter. The fact of the matter is it sounds cool. and drops us down to the turnaround, which is going to start on the 2 chord. Now, a 2-5 turnaround, this is, bar 9. A 2-5 turnaround is not an uncommon thing at all. In fact, in jazz, it's extremely common. So that A minor 7 in that bar is not a stretch at all. Another option instead of this would be to go to a 5, a D, D9, D11, sounds kind of cool. Some kind of altered D7 sharp 9. All of these are possibilities in bar 9. Or you could do, instead of straight A minor 7, you could do like an A minor 11 or an A minor 9. Any of those will work, and they sound really cool. Now, in bar 10, on the Allman Brothers recording, I hear a C minor 7, which is perfectly legit, and I think that's off the original T-Bone recording. I often use an E flat 9, which is kind of a substitute for a C minor. C minor, if you base off the minor third, it's E flat. So I'll do like an E flat 9, and often to a D altered of some sort. So I'll do like A minor 7, E flat 9, D7 sharp 9, and that'll be my bars 9 and 10. I think the more traditional approach is A minor 7 for bar 9, C minor 7 for bar 10, and the last 2 bars are pretty much the same no matter where I see them. G9 for 2 beats, C9 for 2 beats, G9 for 2 beats, D augmented, which is a really cool chord anyway. Okay, so if I kind of put the whole thing together, I don't have a backing track or anything for this, unfortunately, but I'm just gonna kind of play it in the fairly traditional fashion and let you have a look at it one more time. 2, 3, 4.